Dayton, Ohio, and if you look at that right there, those are written directions that I got from the guy who owns that car. You know who that guy is, right? Hi, I'm here to see Bill.
Bill, this is funny.
Okay. Hey. Sorry, man, I forgot to call, brother.
It's all right. Good to see you.
How you doing, man?
Good.
So you're Mr. Neal.
Yeah.
You're an art teacher.
I'm an art
What are
teacher.
you doing now?
I am working at Stivers School for the Arts, which is the arts magnet for this area. It's a fantastic school, 7th through 12th grade.
Mm-hmm.
After 6th grade, students audition to get into the school. And if they pass their audition, they get accepted. And then they have arts training in whatever magnet they were accepted in.
Mm-hmm.
The magnets are like choir, orchestra, band, dance, theater, creative writing, drama.
Hi. Support.
and of course visual arts, which is the department that I teach in.
Thank you. So this is where you grew up?
This is where I grew up.
And now, is this Dayton, Ohio? Or?
It's outside of Dayton. It's a suburb to the east of Dayton. It's a Halloween town, which I love because it's by far the best holiday.
Because you're an artist?
It's just the best holiday. It's all there is to it. All the other ones are full of dripping with hypocrisy and, consumerism, and it's just disgusting. The whole downtown area gets like crazy, and they have like Halloween plays and like all this crazy stuff. So that's one of the only good things. If you're a teenager, you quickly run out of stuff to do here. Trust me. So
now,
me and teenagers like me got in a lot of trouble.
Right, of course.
So my great-grandfather came here after World War II. He was a carpenter. He was also in the military, and he built that house, no, the White House, this house, and the house behind it. So he bought all 3 of those plots and built all 3 of those houses. And that's how my family got started in this area. Wright State is named after the Wright brothers. A lot of stuff around here is named after the Wright brothers because this is where they had their bike shop,
Oh,
so
wow.
The bike shop that the Wright brothers, did their first models and buildings of planes actually is in Dayton.
I thought they were from like North Carolina.
No, they flew in North Carolina because it had better wind currents and better topography.
Right.
But they were actually from here.
See, this is the cool kind of stuff I'm learning on this trip.
Dunbar is a famous poet. So there's a neighborhood in Dayton called Wright Dunbar.
Okay.
And Dunbar is a famous African-American poet. He's actually the first African-American writer to make a living off of writing in the post-slavery period.
Now, he was part of the Harlem Renaissance and whatnot.
Yeah, but he was older than most of them.
Right.
Like, he was considerably older, so he was before them.
Yeah.
A lot to it. We'll come back here and find a restaurant in a little bit. But I want to
This is called Yellow Springs.
This is Yellow Springs, Ohio, the famous Yellow Springs. Not something you'd want to put on your website, but Charles Manson famously said this is where he wanted to retire. Never got the chance, thank God.
Oh, man.
And it's Dave Chappelle moved here from LA when he wanted to get away from the madness of Hollywood and the bad experiences he had with the industry.
Yeah.
He moved here.
What are you doing here?
After 22 years of living in Los Angeles, I moved back to the region where I grew up. Not so much for sentimental reasons, but because the housing in Los Angeles is full-blown crisis.
Yeah.
70% of teachers can't afford a house in Los Angeles, last I checked.
Yeah.
The median house there is like 620-something thousand. Here you can get 3 to 5 acre lot and a huge house for $300,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell me the story behind like how you got this job. So when did you get here?
Me and my girlfriend drove cross country from Los Angeles. We got here 2 weeks before school started, which is not ideal. All the art teaching jobs were taken, so there was like nothing to apply to. So I just started emailing my resume out to different schools in the region that had art programs at all, or reputations for having art programs, and Stivers was one of them. And I got a response like the next day. I ended up getting offered a job. They didn't actually have a position available, they just sort of made one up. and right now I don't have the best assignment, but they're working on trying to get me a full-time position for next year.
That's awesome. So you hustled it.
I hustled
Yeah.
a job
With a
made
resume and a letter and all that kind of stuff.
a resume, letter, and a letter of recommendation. So I mean, it helped the experience that I have from Los Angeles. When I told them I worked at college prep schools and continuation high schools and had the experience of working with urban kids, like, hate talking about myself. They were kind of blown away by the interview.
Right.
Because I didn't say the kind of stuff that candidates usually say in an interview. I just said the truth instead.
Right on.
And because I don't know how to act and I don't do that.
Yeah.
And
It's also you have so much experience.
Yeah.
And you're legit. I mean, you're a good artist and you're a great teacher. And
right. So they said, like, I just told them, like, flat out, like, I don't really do rules. I do relationships.
Right.
I build relationships with students.
Right.
I let them know I have extremely high standards for the quality of their work and their way they relate to other people.
Yeah, and I think any student who's worked for you would agree with that.
And then I let them know that I care about what happens to them. And if you do those things, you don't really need a lot of
This school you're at, is this like Dave Chappelle is involved with this or what?
No, Dave Chappelle actually lives around here somewhere, where I have no idea. He lives in Yellow Springs with his family, raised his kids here.
Really?
Yeah, and he does do stuff around the area. Sometimes when the mass shooting happened and killed 8 or 9 people in August, I think it was.
That was in Dayton?
In Dayton, yeah.
Okay.
He hosted a fundraiser with a lot of other celebrities that apparently he invited, and he put together the program. And it raised a lot of money for the victims of the shooting. So he's around, he does stuff, but I have a feeling he values his privacy or he wouldn't have moved to the middle of nowhere.
Right, yeah.
So I've never seen him here.
Yeah, anything you want to say to the folks back in California?
And LA kids are the best, like,
Yeah?
hands down.
Yeah.
I miss LA kids a lot.
Right on. Right on.
It's
Like,
still
why? What is it about LA kids?
like, they're not whiners. They're like, despite how much hardship many LA families have been through, they still appreciate the little that they do have, and they're incredibly humble about even their amazing gifts and talents. I think it's a very impressive attitude that a lot of students have.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Yeah.
All right.
I miss it.
awesome. Yeah. Miss LA.
I miss LA.